Good evening, welcome to ITV News. This is Wednesday night's calendar.
Hello, here are tonight's main stories.
Good morning, Headingley Ashes and Scottish Surgery.
Staff at a GP practice described their daily battle to keep up with growing demand.
Since COVID, the demand's gone up, patient expectation is high. Every day is so busy.
And as the NHS celebrates its 75th anniversary, we see how the day's been marked and we meet the newborns who've made their own little bit of history. Also tonight.
Here are a few recipes.
Just how worried should we be about AI?
It's not as easy as it was before things like ChatGPT became so popular to get clients.
We meet one worker who fears the worst.
Sheffield Wednesday's new boss arrives at Hillsborough. Just what were his first impressions?
The Headingley stage is set. Australians begin arriving in Yorkshire ahead of the third test tomorrow.
They'll undoubtedly be feeling quite outnumbered, but look, it's a great ground. Headingley always throws up something special.
And will the skies above Headingley be kind to the cricketers and the cricket fans over the next 4 days? All the detail, full forecast a little later on.
Hello, thanks for joining us. First tonight to the rising pressure and growing stress levels affecting NHS staff and patients right across our region, all as calls for more funding for our health service grow on its 75th anniversary.
Well, to mark the milestone, we've been to a busy GP surgery near Scunthorpe where staff have been telling us they're struggling to keep up with demand despite extended hours, increasing staff numbers and appointments.
It comes after the government announced its workforce plan, pledging to recruit and retain more doctors and nurses while investing £250 million in new technology. Jonathan Brown has this report.
The rain relentless, the calls even more so.
Good morning, Headingley Ashes and Scottish Surgery.
Every morning at this practice near Scunthorpe, there's a rush to be seen by a GP. Despite hiring extra staff and extending their opening hours, workers here are struggling to cope.
The phone never stops. I go home listening to that ringing in my ear every night. Since COVID, the demand's gone up. Patient expectation is high. Every day is so busy.
The waiting room's still showing signs of a pandemic past. Patients say it's never been harder to get seen.
Years ago you could get in virtually straight away, no matter how big the problem was or minor.
Now you have to ring like at 8 AM on the dot or you just don't get in.
It just shows how high the demand is.
For the likes of Satpal, who's been at this surgery for 15 years, the passage of time has only seen workloads increase.
I often hear from my colleagues that, how they couldn't finish the work and they had to go home at night and do it the next day, which is not sustainable in long term. The staff has got the means and needs to deliver best care. We just need to be adequately resourced.
In spite of the financial barriers surgeries like this say they face, capacity keeps increasing. They offered 46% more appointments in December last year than they did in the same month in 2019. While in May, across North Lincolnshire, facilities like this fulfilled more than 94,000 visits. But tapping into those most vulnerable and in doing so unlocking time for GPs, it's hoped could make a difference. April, who until recently worked in a care home, is contacting every over 75 on their register by phone, text or email to see if they need help.
It's all about making sure that people aren't forgotten, because a lot of, especially your elderlies, they get forgotten about. If they're not on the phone every 5 minutes, nobody knows who they are or what's wrong with them, and that's where I'm going to be coming in.
Earlier this year, the government pledged to spend £240 million on new technology to improve access to GPs. While last week, the Prime Minister said he planned to protect the long-term future of the NHS by revealing a 15-year workforce plan to train and retain more healthcare staff.
He's had these vaccines before, so hopefully he'll be absolutely fine with them, okay.
All the while, everyone from nurses to GPs here say in the face of full diaries and mounting paperwork, helping people through a health service they remain proud of still prevails.
I live in the area, so I often see patients out and about, and they always say hi to me. So it is a case of community. We got into it because it's something that we love doing. We love looking after people.
Their determination to answer the constant calls for help undimmed. Those working here say being there for those they serve from cradle to grave is a pledge they're desperate to keep. Jonathan Brown, ITV News, Curtin Lindsay.
Well, the focus of the national anniversary celebrations was at Westminster Abbey, where some health staff from our region were invited to attend a special service. Now, the Prime Minister and the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh were also among those who heard the NHS described as a cornerstone of national life. 5 members of staff from the Rotherham, Doncaster and South Humber Foundation Trust joined hundreds of others at the service.
It was just amazing. I think just being in that setup, it was just wonderful, and I just see it as a privilege, to be there with every other person and celebrating NHS at 75.
Absolutely, it was a real honour to represent the Trust. It was a fantastic environment, the atmosphere was brilliant, really good feel.
Yeah, I echo that. Euphoric, yeah, really good, pride. I get pride every day that I go into work anyway up in my office door, so to walk through there at Westminster Abbey, even more so, really great.
Yeah, good to hear that they had such a great day. Well, we'll have more on the NHS at 75 later in the programme, including...
Happy birthday, NHS!
How staff in South Yorkshire have been celebrating, some with a little help from Tony Christie. Plus...
Final preparations are taking place here at Headingley ahead of the 3rd Ashes test, and for Captain Ben Stokes playing here is always special.
It's an amazing atmosphere here at Headingley. It always has been every time we play here.
And as well as the 4-day forecast for Headingley, I'll have all the weather detail for the rest of the region for the rest of the week a little later on.
Well, let's turn to some more of the day's news now. And a man has pleaded guilty to murdering his ex-partner and her new boyfriend in an horrific attack lasting several hours. 27-year-old Katie Higton and 25-year-old Stephen Harnett were found dead at a house in Harp Inge in Huddersfield in May. Katie's ex-boyfriend, Marcus Osborne, who's 34, pleaded guilty to their murders at Leeds Crown Court today. He also admitted the false imprisonment and rape of another woman. He's due to be sentenced in October.
A man has been arrested after climbing up a crane in Sheffield and refusing to get down for more than 24 hours. Part of Sheffield city centre was forced to close all day yesterday while police dealt with the incident. He was arrested on suspicion of trespassing and public nuisance.
Teachers across our region have taken to the picket line today in an ongoing row over pay. The government says it's provided a fair and reasonable pay offer, but the National Education Union, including members in Sheffield, says teachers have faced a real terms pay cut over the last decade.
There are primary classes where we can't get permanent staff. There are children with special needs who haven't got a special needs assistant because they've left the school to go and work in a supermarket. And then government just isn't engaging, isn't talking.
Plans for a mass closure of railway station ticket offices have been condemned by union leaders in Yorkshire. The Rail Delivery Group has today unveiled plans which could lead to nearly all offices in England being shut and staff moved onto station platforms and concourses. It comes after the government asked transport operators to cut costs.
Sometimes people need assistance to get actually onto the train, so that's why the ticket offices are quite crucial. And also, people don't have access to mobile phones, so they can use apps that they can buy tickets. And also, sometimes these apps will sell you the most expensive tickets.
The taxpayer puts a lot of money into the railways. We do have a duty to look at how we spend that, but it's a consultation at the moment. So if people feel strongly, I would urge them to take part in that consultation over the summer.
Well, speaking of possible job losses, we've heard there are fears more jobs could be lost. This time, though, with the rise of robots and artificial intelligence. So much so, in fact, that it's leading more people to seek help for a mental health condition that experts are calling AI anxiety.
The rapid growth in software like ChatGPT is raising concerns about jobs and security. But tech experts say we can harness AI for the good of society, just with the right support and regulation. Catherine Walker reports.
Hey Siri, set my morning scene.
Okay, for brownies, here are a few recipes.
From Siri to Alexa, artificial intelligence is already a big part of our everyday lives. But new advances in technology are sparking concern for content writers like Hannah. She's worried that clients want to replace her with cheaper AI software like ChatGPT.
So I'm definitely up at night working and worrying. I am self-employed. I've got 2 daughters, they're aged 2 and 6, and I've got to make a certain amount of money each month to pay the bills, to pay the mortgage, to keep my house, and it's just becoming very evident that it's not as easy as it was before things like ChatGPT became so popular to get clients or people to see the worth in what I do.
But first, ITV News can tonight reveal just how worrying the arrival of artificial intelligence, or AI as it's known, could be.
The rapid growth of AI over the past 12 months has dominated headlines, raising questions about automation and productivity. This uncertainty is leading to a rise in what Sheffield psychologist Dr. Cotton calls AI anxiety.
There's different things that we worry about. So I think one of them is the impact on our jobs. So one of the things that people are hearing a lot in the media is around what AI means in terms of the workforce. And humans, we love our jobs and we attach our jobs to our identity. So the idea of that being threatened means that our identity is threatened, and we don't like that.
As we learn to live with this technology, there are many unanswered questions around jobs and regulation. But AI expert Dr. Altahan says being aware of the problems means we can better protect ourselves.
So, in your expert opinion, how worried should people be about AI?
I think it's healthy to be worried about AI because it will allow people to be proactive, aware, and try to mitigate the impact. But, we are adaptable, I think. We can, learn and harness the benefits of AI for the benefits of our society.
In a statement, the government told ITV News they are working to help businesses take advantage of AI, drive economic growth and create jobs. But as technology becomes increasingly more sophisticated, workers like Hannah know that change is inevitable. Catherine Walker, ITV News.
Thanks, Catherine. Yes, all very confusing, I've got to say. Anyway, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Lucrezia Millerini.
Fury at plans to shut almost every railway station ticket office in England. Train companies say they need to modernise. Unions call the move a savage attack on railway workers, and the travelling public will have all the reaction. More coronation celebrations as the King receives the Scottish crown jewels. And on the 75th anniversary of the NHS, we meet the twins who owe their lives to the health service. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Lucrezia, thank you. Now, the third Ashes test gets underway up at Headingley tomorrow, with England desperately in need of a win to avoid losing the series.
Yes, you'll remember yesterday we brought you the continued fallout from that Johnny Bairstow stumping from Sunday's second test. Well, both camps today have been keen to move forward and talk about matters on the pitch.
Arif Ahmed is at Headingley for us in the Western Terrace, where the more boisterous England fans will be sitting. Good evening, Arif. They just won't forgive and forget, will they?
Good evening, Lara. And the answer to that is absolutely not. It's all quiet now here at Headingley as the grounds team make their final preparations ahead of tomorrow's game. But those English fans, especially those sitting here in the Western Terrace, will certainly make their feelings known towards the Australians when play gets underway tomorrow. And those English fans will get their reminder of what happened on Sunday with that controversial stumping when they make their way to the ground tomorrow, as local artist known as the Burley Banksy painted this on an electrical or broadband box just across the road from the ground, and that will certainly get the atmosphere going here. And it's that atmosphere that England captain Ben Stokes says he loves so much about coming here and playing at Headingley.
It's an amazing atmosphere here at Headingley. It always has been every time we play here, and I think they absolutely love the fact that the Yorkshire people walk out and play here. You know, they love watching Johnny and Joe come out and play cricket for England. The old saying that Yorkshiremen say is "strong Yorkshire, strong England." You know, so yeah, I just think they love the fact that we play big games here, and they love the fact that they can watch Yorkshiremen walk out and represent the country.
So, Arif, it'll be fair to say it'll be, what shall we say, lively. How would you think the Aussies will react to it all?
Well, John, they seem to have taken everything in their stride, the Australians. They think they've done nothing wrong, and they know they're in for a hostile atmosphere when they come here to Headingley tomorrow, and it always is when they come here, but it will be ramped up a notch or two after that controversial Johnny Bairstow stomping on Sunday. And journalist Melinda Farrell, she told me that the Australian fans know they're in for a hostile reception, but they're just here for a good time.
I was in a pub last night and I heard a familiar accent being bandied around quite a bit. So yeah, there'll be quite a few travelling fans here as well. They'll undoubtedly be feeling quite outnumbered, but look, it's a great ground, fantastic atmosphere. Headingley always throws up something special, and hopefully it does this time as well.
Well, England know they need to win this match if they have any chance of regaining the Ashes.
OK, well, thanks, Arif. That's the cricket. Let's look at football now. And Sheffield Wednesday's new manager was unveiled to the press today.
Yeah, that's right, Lara. Cisco Munoz made his first press conference as Sheffield Wednesday manager today. He, of course, replaces Darren Moore, who surprisingly left the club last month after guiding the club to promotion to the Championship in May. But Munoz's press conference was surprisingly overtaken by Chairman Dejphon Chansiri, and Chris Stocks was there for us.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Like many jetting off on holiday this summer, Sheffield Wednesday too have been to Spain. No duty-free in the suitcase, but a new manager.
Cisco, welcome to Sheffield. Why do you feel that Sheffield Wednesday is the right fit for you right now?
Oh, it's, I was thinking 1 second when they call me, it's immediately, I take the plane and I come here. You know why? Because it's important when the club have history. It's important when they have a massive fans. It's important when they have a more near of the style what we had. And I think is the combination perfect for try to improve or try to building a different situation in the club.
Cisco takes over from Darren Moore, who left just a few short weeks ago after guiding Wednesday back to the Championship with victory at Wembley. Owner Dejphon Chansiri said previously it was due to a dispute over Moore's contract. Well, when asked at today's press conference to embellish on the reasons for Moore's dismissal, well, Chansiri's answer lasted 15 minutes, touching on the reaction from fans and former players on social media.
I cannot accept people outside. You know nothing. You don't know true story, and try to get attention, try to get more audience or whatever. I think it's not fair.
And for Cisco, well, I suppose it's always awkward when you're in a new relationship and people keep bringing up the ex.
I think I don't want to speak more about the situation. The focus for me is the work for the future, not for the past.
Well, Cisco hasn't got long to get this house in order. Just over 4 weeks to go until the big kick-off here at Hillsborough against Southampton. Chris Stocks, ITV News, Sheffield.
Munoz certainly has a job on his hands there at Sheffield Wednesday. Play here gets underway tomorrow at 11 a.m.
OK, Arif at Headingley, thank you.
There we go. So we've been talking to Arif at Headingley about the cricket. What's the weather going to be like?
Yeah, mixed skies for Arif, even there, just waiting to do that piece over the last few hours or so. Over the next few days, I don't know anything about cricket, to be honest, but I do know that...
At least you're honest, Kerry.
But 3 out of the 4 days actually don't look too bad at all. So this is the forecast from tomorrow onwards. Tomorrow, maybe a few showers, but actually pleasant. A little bit of a breeze developing throughout the day. Friday looks great, hot and sunny for most of the day. Could be high 20s by the end of the day. We could be knocking on the door of 30 maybe by Saturday, and there's a big question mark. Saturday is the big question mark. I know Saturday's the big day, but a big question mark. It might turn quite thundery as the day progresses.
And it could be 5 days.
No.
Which goes
could
into
it?
the Monday.
Oh, OK.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Sunday and Monday, sunshine and showers and fresher.
Right,
yeah.
right.
absolutely.
So it's just Saturday they need to be worried about?
Saturday is the big question mark day. I'm quite confident about the rest, actually. Yeah,
and is it the same story
okay
for the rest of us?
Yes. So by tomorrow night, 17 degrees, so really warm night tomorrow night. The humidity starts to rise. It's very intense, but very brief. So by Saturday day, 30, maybe 31, 32 in some parts of the region. At the moment, we've got an average air mass, but we've got this warm air seeping its way in from France and Spain, and that's going to briefly come through tomorrow. And by the time we reach Saturday, the low pressure starts to swirl its southwesterly in, but it's a bit of a question mark about how soon it will do that, for sure.
And we've dodged Storm Polly then, have we?
Yeah, Storm Polly. Yeah, it arrived yesterday. It moved over the Netherlands, 92 miles an hour actually. But yes, it's not for us. Thankfully, it was 400 miles further east. Phew.
Phew, indeed. Thank you.
Right, back to our NHS anniversary. And you know, Tony Christie actually paid a visit to Sheffield's Northern General Hospital today to open a special garden for patients and staff.
And I wish you happy birthday, baby mine.
Oh, there he goes. The Wellbeing Garden has been created to provide somewhere for staff to escape the clinical environment, but they need it actually. Take a moment of calm and gather their thoughts before returning to the ward. It was funded by Sheffield Children's Hospital charity, and Tony, who lived in Sheffield for many years, said that he had no hesitation whatsoever when he was asked to officially open the garden.
When I was asked if I would come and bless this new garden, I said, any excuse to get back to Sheffield again, yeah.
This isn't a nice to have. You know, it's really important that staff who are facing incredible pressures on the wards every day have the space to be able to come away and take a moment or have their lunch break out here and go back to the wards feeling refreshed. And if they feel a benefit from that, then really we all benefit from that.
And finally, I think this might be my favourite story of the day. From one birthday celebration to another, NHS hospitals across the region have delivered dozens of new babies today.
In Leeds alone, we reckon 18 little ones have been born so far. Here's Holly Goodall.
Yeah.
I'd like to introduce you to one of the youngest residents on this ward here, beautiful little Stella, who was born in the early hours of this morning, of course on the 75th anniversary of the NHS. And proud mum here, Rolenda, you must be so pleased. She's absolutely gorgeous. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling very, very good. Yeah.
And of course, as I said, it's not just Stella's birthday, it's also a big birthday for the NHS, and you work here in this hospital. It must be a very proud day for yourself as well.
It's actually very special because working here now, I'm the patient.
Absolutely. You can finally put your feet up for a bit. Well, I'll leave you to sit with Stella for a little bit, and we'll head over here to parents Matthew and Laura with beautiful little Elliot, who was born yesterday. He looks so chilled out. It was quite a long birth, I hear, Laura.
It was, yes, just over 24 hours. But the staff have been so helpful throughout, so...
Yeah, and this is your second time through it, isn't it? How important has it been, Matthew, to have that NHS support?
Oh, it's been very important, yeah, and couldn't thank them enough. It's been very helpful.
Good. Well, it was good to know you were in a safe pair of hands, and you guys look like you know what you're doing. Second time through it. And another mum who's been through it before is Sasha, who's here with beautiful little Romy, who also looks very relaxed lying on your tummy. What's it like having Romy with you on the 75th anniversary of the NHS? He snuck in just before yesterday, didn't he? But almost the same birthday.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. Like I say, like the staff here have been so much help. You know, with having a C-section, it's quite hard to get up and straight after. So they've been amazing. They really have. So. Yeah, it's amazing, yeah.
And of course, Romy and all the bubs here have been wearing little knitted hats, which have been made by volunteers for the anniversary. And Laura here is the deputy head of midwifery at the hospital. Where did the idea come from, Laura?
Well, we've done knitted campaigns in the past at the hospital, and we always need a knitted hat for babies when they're born to help them keep warm. They're wet when they're born and they're not very good at keeping their temperature. So we've had, at last count, over 250 hats, which is just absolutely brilliant. So that'll keep us going for a few months.
Absolutely, no more hats. And a big day for you guys. Are you going to be celebrating here on the wards?
Yes, we will. We will. We're very, very proud here in Leeds, very proud of the NHS. So yes, I'm sure there will be some cake.
Brilliant. I like the sound of that. I'll be hanging around for that. Now, for these parents, it's really just the start of the journey, and there's lots of challenges ahead, as of course there are for the NHS. But today is really about that big birthday and celebrating 75 years.
Oh, and of course, huge congratulations to all the parents there. Little Stella, Elliot and Romy, all at Jimmy's Hospital.
Another delivery now. Here's Kerry.
Good visibility on the horizon. TIRI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, hello again. That essential mix of sunshine and showers across the region during the course of the last couple of days. For today, we did have a little bit more cloud cover, not so much in the way of blue sky. Hopefully the reversal as we head through into Thursday and for Friday. And yes, those showers, they have been quite heavy, keeping everything quite green, but no significant rain until probably the second half of Saturday at the earliest. So we've had that westerly flow today, and rather than breaking up the cloud, we did see that cloud start to build a little bit during the second part of the day. But as we head through into this evening, we are expecting those showers to fade and the skies once more to become clear. So largely dry and clear overnight tonight. Always the risk of a shower moving in along that west-southwesterly flow. A little bit more cloud cover over the Pennines by dawn. And for towns and cities, similar temperatures to the last few nights, 12s, maybe 13s, and just dipping into single figures, perhaps in rural sheltered spots. 4:44 and 9:38 are you sometimes as we head into Thursday. Tomorrow, we do start to see the wind start to pick up from the southwest throughout the day, and it will eventually start to import that warmer air by the end of the day. Temperatures a little better than today by a degree or two, and still the risk of some scattered showers mixed in with patchy cloud and sunny spells once more. And then, of course, we head towards Friday. Lots going on further north and west, but for us, maybe just a little bit more cloud cover for North and West Yorkshire, an odd Pennine shower, but for most of Friday it's dry, it's sunny, and it becomes increasingly warm and increasingly humid, especially Friday night into the early part of Saturday. Saturday, the risk of a thundery breakdown, but it could be later rather than sooner, and then fresher for Sunday, back to around average or just above.
TIRI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello, summer. TIRI sponsors ITV pollen count.
Well, grass pollen counts have been high across the region today, and they'll remain fairly high over the next couple of days until we eventually get those downpours by the time we reach Saturday.
Thanks very much, Kerry. You see it's warming up. That's it from us tonight. I'm back at 10:30. Hope to see you then, but thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Good night from all of us.
Bye.